I kind of unintentionally started a series with this, but I find this so fun. Today I'm going to be doing Pan That Face palette from Hell. So in the past I have done... Stan has just kicked my camera. Rude! So in the past I have done Pan Those Eyeshadows from Hell and Pan That Eyeshadow palette from Hell. And basically what I do is take those project pans and think what would be the worst possible thing for me to pan in that project. And today, naturally, it is Pan That Face palette. So I think this is going to be the last one of this series. I can't really think of any other projects that I could do this with, but I really think this is going to be so fun. So I have 2 palettes, and then I have 2 blushes, 2 bronzers, and 2 highlights, because what I'm actually doing this year in my Pan That Face palette is I'm panning singles. So I wanted to include some singles in here as well, because technically they could be in a Pan That Face palette, so I'm just gonna do it. Why not? But just before we do jump into this video, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup. Today I've gone a lot more subtle, a lot more neutral. I'm wearing the Morgan Turner Love Language palette. This is a Get Ready With Me. I talk about my recent product specific no buy / low buy, so if you're interested in content like that, definitely go and check it out. So I'm gonna start with a round of singles, then I'll talk about the 2 palettes, then I'll do the last round of singles because I don't know, I want to keep it fresh. I want to mix it up a little bit, so let's jump into it. So the first product that I'm going to talk about today is my Kiko Unexpected Paradise bronzer, and I mean, you can tell why this would be Pan That Face palette from Hell, because the size of this thing is ginormous, and not only is it huge, it's also domed, which makes it extra impossible. It's the size of my head. This would take so long to finish. I dread to think how long this would take to finish to completion. I've had this thing for years and it barely looks used. And trust me, I've used this a hell of a lot. I've actually used it today. This is 20 grams of product. 20 grams of product. This, I think if someone put a gun to my head and said you have to finish this in a year, I would just tell them to pull the trigger, because this is ridiculous. Even if you use this every single day for 365 days, I don't even think you'd hit pan on this, to be honest. This is one of the biggest, I think this is the biggest cheek product I've ever seen. And I mean, I love it. I love the quality of this so much. It is such a beautiful bronzer. It smells like coconut. It is absolutely stunning, but the size of this is insanity. So yeah, I think this would be an absolute product from Hell. I'm very, very glad I did not choose to roll this bronzer in this year. I am actually panning my Ofra Format bronzer. So I gave you a little bit of a sneak peek there, but that is definitely a lot easier than this thing. Let me tell you that for free. This thing would keep me up at night. I'd be doing 3 makeup looks a day just to keep up with this thing, and then I don't even think that would do it. Honestly, I really, really don't. This is going to be dead and buried with me. I already know. Like, this is going to my grandkids in my will. It's huge. So now let's talk about a blush. I'm going to do 1 bronzer, 1 blush, 1 highlight, then the 2 face palettes, and then so on. So a blush that would be in Pan That Face palette from Hell is the Girl Cult Cream Blush. Now, this is so pretty. Let me just say that, but it is a cream. And you guys know how I feel about cream products. In a nutshell, I don't like them. I don't like them. This has been in Project 10 uses for quite a while, and I've probably got like 2 uses on it. It's just, I don't like cream products. I don't like them. So even though the colour of this is so beautiful, I never like swatching it because I feel like I'm going to ruin it. I am ruining it. It might look really intimidating, but it is a really nice, almost mulberry, bricky kind of shade, and it is so pretty. However, I'm in such a routine with my makeup that I just powder my face and forget all about cream products, and then I just use powders. I don't know what it is. I've never really got on board with the hype with cream products. I just don't know what it is. I just have not. So this would definitely be Pan That Face Palette from Hell, because I would forget this existed. Every single day, I already know. I powder my face and then go, ah, I have that to use. It is not even a thought. I don't know what it is. I wish I was one of these girls that could do the cream products and that like loved the cream products, because I do have dry skin. So you'd think that this would be perfect for me, but no, I just don't like them. I never have. I probably never will. It's a beautiful colour. It's a beautiful formula. It's really unique and cool, but I wouldn't use it ever. I'm trying to use it now and I'm just not. So yeah, this would make me want to cry. I think these two together, the highlight better be banging. The highlight better be good, because these two things are not having any progress on them ever. So yeah, Pan That Face Palette from Hell. Let's add a highlight in, and it really will be Pan That Face Palette from Hell. So the highlight that I'm going to talk about is my Revolution Mega Lightning highlight. This is not only super, super blinding, it is also domed. And we all know that domed products are a panner's worst nightmare. So this, of course, is not as big as the Kiko, like size comparison. Yeah, but it is still domed, it is still baked, and you can tell there is a flatness to it, but it is nowhere near being done. This, to hit pan on, would take an eternity, because it is so blinding as well. You really don't need much of this at all. You need the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest amount, and then that is it. You will not get through this in a year. I really don't think you would. Even if you use this every single day, I just don't think you would get through it. And I'm absolutely baffled, because I went through a phase of using this so much, and again, it barely looks touched. Barely looks touched. This would drive me up the wall. It really, really would. I feel like it might be one of those products that you see absolutely no progress until like December, and then suddenly it just like flies by. But I don't think I have the patience to wait till December to hit pan on a product that I've been using for the whole year. I just don't have that patience. Absolutely not. This, again, probably is going to be in my will, because it's going to take a hell of a long time to finish. Okay, now I have two actual face palettes. So I'm counting this as one face palette, because it's a blush, bronzer, and a highlight, you know? So that's a face palette in my eyes. So now let's talk about two actual face palettes. So the first one is the Technic blush palette. Oh my god, can you imagine trying to finish 4 blushes in 1 year? Absolutely not. I think I would cry. I would not show my face in public ever again. So I made the absolute worst decision ever a few years ago for, I think it was my first ever Pan That Face palette. I panned a highlight palette. It had 6 highlights in it. It was the Anastasia Aurora Glow Kit. I've learnt my lesson. I've learnt my lesson. If I'm going to do a face palette, it needs to have a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight in it. It is not all one. It is not all one. I've learnt that. So blush is notoriously hard to pan anyway. So this would make me want to cry. It really would. The only good thing going for it is that it has got a lot of kick up to it. So maybe you'd be able to hit pan on a few of these shades. But honestly, no. And then there's this. This bright, bright Barbie pink. I'm not that kind of girl. I'm really, really not. I'm more of like a this. These shades are pretty good for me. I like these shades. This shade, I could not do it. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I don't even want to think about panning this to completion. This is a Pan That palette. I mean, at least you'd have freedom with bronzer and highlight. At least you could kind of use whatever you want. Blush though, it would be an awful year for blush. If you want to go on a blush no-buy, maybe just pan this for a year and then you'd never want to see a blush ever again. You know, maybe that's a good thing. Just a note, if you're going to start a Pan That Face palette, please do a blush, bronzer, and a highlight. Do not do anything like this because it is awful. it drives you nuts because there is only one highlight that you can use a day. There is only one blush that you can use a day. So you're only getting use on one of the 4 shades every single day. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And learn from my mistakes. I don't know why I tried to pan the Aurora Glow Kit. I was insane, clearly. And following on from a similar perspective, but slightly different, this is the Lion King Sir John face palette. And as you can see, this is all bronzers / contours. Now, you could use this as an eyeshadow palette. That's the only thing going for it. That's the only way that I could possibly see me panning this. I think if this was just pan that palette for the year, you didn't have a pan that eyeshadow palette, maybe you could do this. Maybe you could. This is the shade you can probably tell that I use the most. This is Marula. This is perfect for my skin tone. Now, with the Technic palette, I could use all of these shades for blush. I could not use all of these shades for bronzer. This bronzer, Heritage, is an eyebrow shade for me. Like, look, it's basically the shade. It is an eyebrow shade. I could not use this as a bronzer. Absolutely not. I'd probably use this as a bronzer. I might use Dusk as a contour / eyeshadow. And then the rest have got to be eyeshadows. Like, there is no way I'm using the rest as a face palette. I mean, they'd be really nice eyeshadows, but they are huge. They are massive. How much is in here? 4 grams per product. Yeah, so this is more than this. And even that though, if you cover up one of these shades, that is this. Oh my god. 5 of these is one of these. That just puts it into perspective so much more. I would never pan this. 5 of these is one of these. No. Kiko, like, I love you though. I really love you, but I don't understand why it's so big. Anyway, we've spoken about this. I'm going off topic. This is what we're speaking about. I could use this as an eyeshadow palette. I could use this as a bronzer, as a contour. However, anything other than that, no. I love colour as well, so I get so bored with this so quickly. This is something I do not want to see in pan that palette. Maybe I'll put like one of the shades in a project pan to like finish or use up or something like that, or hit pan on. I would never, ever, ever want to pan this whole thing. Absolutely not. That and the fact I love this. Like, this is so sentimental to me. The Lion King is my favourite film, so I wouldn't want to pan this to completion because I think it's beautiful. I love it so much. So yeah, take this out my cold dead hands. All right, and now let's do a round of singles again. These singles, I think I'd cry. I really think I'd cry. So the first one is the Bia Ripple Blush. So this is technically a blush, but I use this as a bronzer / contour. This is not only too light for me, it is also way too cool toned for me. I just don't really like this as a bronzer, and it's got nothing to do with the formula. It's just not great. I did get sent this in PR from C Beauty Mall, and when I did that, I could choose my own products. So I decided I was going to do a full face. I was going to buy a full face, I was going to put it all to the test, and I kind of realised that C Beauty Mall didn't have any bronzers. So I had to kind of make do, and this is like, this is pale. This is pale, this is cool, this is like a lot. You can see that there. It's more of a contour shade for me. It is usable. I think this is the only product in this video that I wouldn't be like devastated about. It's okay. Is it my preference? No. Would I just be hate panning this? Yes, sir. Yes, sirree. So I could deal with this. I could deal with it. Would I want to? No. No. And again, I could probably use this as an eyeshadow. These like taupey shades I absolutely love. I am actually panning That's Taupe as my Pan That eyeshadow palette. If you haven't seen the update for this, I will link it up in the cards. Definitely go and check that out because I mean, we've made some pretty damn good progress this year. So maybe I could use it for that as well. So maybe I could get through it in a year. Would I want to? No. Let's close this. I would not want to do that at all. Now let's talk about a blush. This is actually worse than that cream blush. I think this is the worst blush on this list. Not because I hate the product, But I mean, look at it. This is the Odens Eye blush, and it is in the shade Radiant Flame. It is the brightest pink I have ever seen in my life. I love this, but for very specific and rare occasions. This is an everyday blush. No, first of all, no. It is so pigmented as well. You dip in once, it does both cheeks. I like to blush my chin and my nose. It does that as well. So good luck hitting pan on this. Good luck even having a dip in this. You know what? Good luck getting rid of the embossing on this. You won't do it. I challenge you. That is a challenge from me. You won't do it. You can see the pigment there compared to the other shades that I've swatched in this video. It's basically an eyeshadow. It really is. I really couldn't. Like, if you use this every single day, how long do you think it would take to finish? I'm saying like 4 years. Honestly, I'm saying 4 years. I really think so. And I'm like notorious for thinking that things will take a lot less time. So it'll probably take a lot longer than that because I am just so bad at thinking about those things. So it's probably going to take a lot longer. Like, look at that. Look at that. Good luck. Good luck. I would cry. I would cry. I think I would just leave my channel. I'd leave YouTube and I'd be like, nah, we can't do this anymore. We can't do it. I love it though for very special, rare occasions when it's needed. It is so beautiful. But as a pan that face palette, no sir, no siree. So now let's end this video on the final highlighter. And this again, I really do enjoy, but using it every day for a year, no. This is the Catrice Space Glam Hollow Highlighter, and this is in the shade 10 Beam Me Up, and it is a pink duochrome highlighter. So this would actually go really well with that blush. I've just swatched them next to each other there. Like, they look so good together. But again, for very specific occasions, every day, no. Pink is my least favourite shade to use and to wear as well. So again, no. I think these two together they'd look amazing. They'd look so cool. But every day, no. I think I do need to actually use these together just in a look. Because again, those swatches there look so cool. They go amazing together. But as a pan that face palette, it would make me want to cry. It would make me want to dig a hole and never come out. So these two, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. Maybe you could use this as like an eyeshadow as well though. You could use all of these as eyeshadows, but like, wow, it's beautiful, but no, thank you. So this is it. What do you think of this video? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. What would be your pan that face palette from hell? Let me know down below. Maybe I love that palette. Who knows, but that's the beauty of makeup. Everyone has different tastes and opinions. But with that being said, this is where I'm gonna love you and leave you today, guys. Have an incredible day, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.